Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Movement Radio. I am Chip Hazard, and today we're talking about one of Marvel's most powerful and honestly most philosophical characters, the Silver Surfer. And look, I love Galactus as much as the neck cosmic nerd, but if every Silver Surfer recommendation starts and ends with, "Oh, he's Galactus's herald," then you're missing the point. Because Norrin Radd isn't just a cosmic errand boy. He's a philosopher, a rebel, a wanderer, and sometimes Marvel's saddest soul on a surfboard. So today, I'm going to break down what, in my opinion, are 10 of the best Silver Surfer stories that aren't just about Galactus. Stories that define who the surfer really is. And we're going to start with 2007's Silver Surfer Requiem. This story opens with a simple but devastating concept. The Silver Surfer is dying. Not in a blaze of cosmic battle, not sacrificing himself to stop some universe-ending threat. He's dying because his body has finally absorbed too much cosmic radiation. What makes Requiem so powerful is how quiet it is. Norrin Radd spends his final days traveling the cosmos, reconnecting with old allies like Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, and even Spider-Man. These interactions aren't heroic, they're human. They're about reflection, regret, and closure. And Esad Ribick's painted artwork gives the book a solemn, almost scary feel. Every page looks like a cosmic mural, fitting for a character contemplating his own mortality. This story reminds us that even beings who surf galaxies can still fear the end, and sometimes the bravest thing a hero can do is accept it. Next, from 1988, we have Silver Surfer Parable. Yes, Galactus is here, but make no mistake, this is not a Galactus story. Parable is about humanity's tendency to worship power, even when that power is hollow. A charismatic figure arrives on Earth claiming divine authority, and humanity, desperate for answers, follows him blindly. The Silver Surfer sees the lie immediately, but what horrifies him most isn't the villain. It's how easily people abandon reason. Mobius's art gives the story an ethereal, almost biblical tone. Everything feels symbolic, like a cosmic parable, which is exactly what Stan Lee intended. This story positions the surfer not as a warrior, but as an observer, watching humanity repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. Next, we have Silver Surfer Volume 3, issues 1 through 10. And this is known as the Mephisto Saga uh, by Jim Starlin and Ron Lim. So, right out of the gate, Jim Starlin establishes the Surfer as a character defined by guilt. Mephisto doesn't want Norrin's power, he wants its soul. And that's where the story shines. Instead of physical battles, Mephisto attacks the surfer emotionally, reminding him of every world he doomed as Galactus's herald, every innocent life lost because of his choices. What makes this arc so compelling is that Mephisto almost wins, not through strength, but by forcing the surfer to relive each and every one of his failures. Ron Lim's art balances classic Marvel cosmic visuals with a darker, more psychological edge, reinforcing this as a battle happening inside Norrin's mind as much as outside of it. Next, from 2019, we have Silver Surfer Black by Donny Cates and Trad Moore. This story throws out traditional structure and fully embraces cosmic madness. The Surfer is trapped inside a collapsing universe during the aftermath of Guardians of the Galaxy. Time doesn't work properly. Reality bends. Ancient darkness lurks. Tradmore's art is the real star here. Wild colors, warped anatomy, and explosive page layouts that feel like you're witnessing the universe die in real time. But beneath the insanity is a deeply emotional story about loneliness. Norrin is isolated, stripped of hope, and forced to confront the idea that sometimes survival itself comes at a terrible cost. This is the Silver Surfer at his most abstract, and it works beautifully. Next, from 1988, Silver Surfer in Thy Name by Stan Lee and John Buscema, not to be confused with John Buscemi, the actor. In this story, the surfer returns to Earth only to discover that humans have turned him into a religious figure. Statues, rituals, blind devotion. At first, it seems absolutely harmless, even flattering, but it quickly spirals into fanaticism, violence, and division. Stan Lee uses this story to explore the dangers of hero worship, how belief without understanding can become just as destructive as outright evil. The surfer, horrified, realizes that his presence has caused more harm than good, reinforcing his belief that humanity must find its own path forward. Next up, we have Silver Surfer Volume 3, number 48 through 50. And this is titled Return to Zenla by Jim Starlin. This arc delivers one of the server's most heartbreaking truths. He can never go home again. Zenla is safe, peaceful, perfect, and completely stagnant. People feel no passion, no curiosity, no ambition. The very things that made Norrin who he is. He sacrificed everything to save his world, only to outgrow it. This story cements the surfer as a tragic wanderer, a being forever caught between worlds, belonging nowhere. Next, we have Silver Surfer from 1968 to 1970. This is the original series. This is where it all begins, essentially, by Stan Lee and John Buscema. Uh, this is where the Silver Surfer truly became Marvel's philosopher. The early solo issues are heavy on introspection, poetic narration, and moral questioning. Norrin constantly debates humanity's worth, torn between admiration and disappointment. Buscema's art gives the surfer grace and elegance, making him feel almost mythological. These stories laid the foundation for everything that followed, proving the surfer wasn't just a Fantastic Four supporting character, but a hero capable of carrying big ideas. Next, from 1988, we have Silver Surfer Judgment Day, also by Stan Lee and John Buscema. Here, the surfer faces an omnipotent being who has decided Earth must be judged. There is no fight, no epic showdown. Instead, the surfer argues humanity's case. He acknowledges humanity's flaws, war, cruelty, greed, but also its creativity, compassion, and capacity to change. This story defines the Surfer as Marvel's greatest advocate for humanity, someone who sees our worst traits and still believes we're worth saving. Next up from 2014, we have Silver Surfer by Dan Slott and Mike Allred. This run is a love letter to adventure, curiosity, and connection. The Surfer teams up with Dawn Greenwood, a regular human woman, and explores time and space, visiting alien worlds, alternate futures, and forgotten corners of reality. Dawn grounds Norrin, reminding him why humanity matters on a personal level, not just as an abstract concept. And Mike Allred's retro art style brings joy and whimsy, while Dan Slott sneaks in surprisingly emotional gut punches. It's hopeful, it's weird, and it proves the Surfer still has new stories to tell. And last on the list today, Silver Surfer, The Enslavers from 1988, and I'm sure you guessed it, by Stan Lee and John Buscema. This this is the definitive Silver Surfer story. The enslavers are beings who erase free will itself, turning entire civilizations into mindless servants. The surfer stands alone against them, fully aware that he cannot win through force. Instead, he fights for the idea of freedom. Stan Lee leans heavily into moral philosophy here, making the surfer a symbol rather than just a character, a defender of choice, individuality, and hope. And if anyone asks you why the Silver Surfer matters, this is the book that you hand to them. So those are my picks for the 10 best Silver Surfer stories that prove he's way more than just Galactus's herald. If you're a fan of cosmic comics with heart, philosophy, and jaw-dropping visuals, the Silver Surfer delivers every single time. But now I want to hear from you. What is your favorite Silver Surfer story? And should the Silver Surfer finally get a proper solo movie in the MCU? Drop it in the comments. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more comic book deep dives. And as always, I am Chip Hazard. This is Movie Radio. Keep nerding out.